You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
Friday night, laid back, feeling smooth. Looking for just a little something to get into. Tired of the same old scene.
Hunting for something different, if you know what I mean.
So when I saw you, there was no in between. You came up to me like something from out of my dreams. A woman from the pages of a magazine. Deep inside my heart, just screams. I can't understand. Hey, just wanna hold you, hey, baby. How you do the things I'm watching you do. While we're in this club, just wanna make some love. All I wanna do, my girl, is dance with you. Now we're in this club, your cheek pressed to my face, trying not to lose control, but I ain't got no time to waste, cause I came up in the club,
Dead and face to face with perfection.
and it would be about your love for my body.
This is what I'm thinking of.
Hey, woo, I can understand. I can understand.
You are now tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy, for that wonderful introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. This is episode number 383. In this episode, we are talking the Maryland Terrapins football. We are 1 week down, and we're looking good. We're recapping the win against UConn, but I also really want to give you a preview of what to expect from this year of the team. Also, in this episode, going to kind of vent. I've heard some things that I'm not liking when it comes to the criticism of Mike Locksley, and it's coming, and I'm coming to his defense. But before we get into that, please consider subscribing. Thank you for those that are continuing to support the channel. It's much appreciated. We're doing some great things. Again, this is. I could not do any of this without your support. Other episodes coming down the pipe. Be on the lookout. Brendan Potts will be back as we're doing WNBA rankings. Brendan and I have been on this recent trend of reaching out and bringing on journalists, commentators. We're in the making, in talking and reaching out to some. Hopefully, we'll have somebody on the show at some point. I'm actually just reached out to a couple people waiting on a response. I actually have reached out to a basketball player. I'm waiting for them. We've been kind of tagging back and forth on setting up interview time, so I'm waiting for them to get back to me. I think that's going to be, I will say that's going to be probably some of my best work as far as of interviewing. I'm actually kind of excited because that would be my second. This person will be my second professional basketball player interviewing. So I've on the channel I interviewed Erica McCall, but I'm hoping that we are able to get some time and scheduled there. But that's enough talk. Let's get into what we're here for. Maryland Terrapins football. Listen, the last 3 years has been golden. We have won 3 bowl games. The program's looking up and up. Mike Locksley he's building something special here at College Park. And I'm truly from where this program was up until 3 years ago. Not too many programs can say like have that kind of a turnaround. I'm just really, really proud of what guys are brought in. This is his 6th year as head coach. And, there's a lot of questions. Last year was Talia Tungaloa's last year. He's the Big Ten passing leader. He was our guy. We're going into a season of transition. Last year we won 8 games. We have now 4 new opponents that are coming into the Big Ten. and this should have the makings of a great season. Let me just give you the schedule. This year, we already played UConn this upcoming Saturday, Michigan State. The 14th, we play Virginia. The 21st, Villanova. The 28th, Indiana. The 11th, Northwestern. The 19th, USC. The 26th, Minnesota. Oregon, November 9th. Rutgers, the 16th. The 23rd of November, Iowa. Penn State, the last game on the 30th. I think this has the makings of being a good schedule. I really think, if we're being honest, Maryland can win 9 games. I think this year, facing 4 opponents ranked in the Associated Press top 25, I think Maryland can surprise one of those 4 teams. I might go on a limb here, but I think Maryland this year will surprise the Maryland Terrapins football. Maryland Terrapins football will finish 3rd in the Big Ten.
Guaranteed.
I think that they can surprise. I'm going to say they're going to upset, because we face 4 ranked opponents. They're going to upset 2 of those 4. I think so. I mean, yeah, everybody's back and all those different things like that. But I think they can surprise some. Now, the biggest concern is, how they look without Talia. Listen, I think he was a great quarterback for us, but he had his flaws, and especially sometimes in big moments. I think Maryland will be just fine. Billy Edwards Jr. shown flashes last year. You bring in MJ Morris. You have Cameron Edge. You still have practically, your offense looks a little different. I know you lost Rakeem Jarrett, Jacob Copeland, and a couple other guys to either the draft or the transfer portal. The offensive line, I know it's going to be different. We're going to talk a little bit about that. This team is a little different, but I do expect this team to be right there, which transitions me into my next point. Let's talk about it. Our first game was against UConn. And just a little background. We've played them back in 2013. We beat them. We lost to them. It was 32-21. The all-time record against them is 2-1. Jim Mora is the head coach. He went 6-7 last year. Especially, that was their best record since 2015, if I remember that correctly. The offense is a little different from what it was last year. His defense, he did maintain most of his players. Couple people I had on my Nick Evers. He was a redshirted sophomore this year. He was transferring from Wisconsin. He was actually the starter. He was pretty good. TJ Sheffield from Purdue. I thought he was a good pickup for them. I like that pickup because he's definitely the number one option. Couple things to know about UConn. The biggest thing looking at the tape last year was red zone defense. That's one that stood out to me watching some of their games. I think, if I remember correctly, almost 80%, most teams were in the red zone. That's where UConn was the strongest. When I look at everything else, especially coming into this year, and there's just a lot of holes. Cam Edwards is coming off. He's a redshirt as a freshman. But, they're not the best in rushing. I think they were like somewhere in the top 90, remember correctly. And I think they were like damn near in the 130s for cards passing. I think they were like 121st in scoring. Because again, that you don't have to run the ball against them. You could damn near pass it. But this was practically, I wasn't expecting it to be like 32-21. I was expecting that. I was interested to see how we would look, especially, for example, the offensive line. When you have five last year, the starting five is not there last year. Kyle Long is the only is really by default the only that started with the experience that came back. Um, we did get Josh Kautenberger from Purdue as a transfer. Alan Hurren, I believe, if I remember correctly, he started. He did get a transfer from Georgia, Alu Ba, and then Isaac Bunyan. I mean, he played defense last year, so I was surprised um, why we did that. But then also too, one guy that did surprise me, looking at the listening to what Coach Loxley and others had say, Andre Roy Jr. Um, he definitely impressed a lot of people in camp. And the final score in this game was 50-7. This was essentially it was very practically one sided. Um, I wasn't really too pleased with this game only because it's one game. Let me see how they look against Michigan State, Virginia, Villanova, Indiana. I want you to look against USC. I want you to look against Oregon, Rutgers, Penn State. We don't play Michigan this year, but I want to see how we look against those teams. UConn just had weaknesses all over the ball, and I think that was something we had to look at from a couple things. Now, one of the key one thing that I took note of was setting the tone early, and that's what they did. I thought they definitely did it in all three phases of the football. It started with, I mean, when you look at just the offense, they did all little things well. Ty Felton, example, he had 7 catches, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. Billy Edwards, I thought he showed confidence, he showed poise in the pocket. The defense, I thought for the most part was aggressive. At times, showed the inability to rush the passer. Because if you look at the first 2 drives in that game for UConn, they only were 3 minutes. The first, like, they didn't look great offensively. I think one of the first one was less than a minute and 30 seconds. I thought what we did was we put man coverage out there. We did at times send pass rushers to Nick Evers. Then we had the blitz on that third down play. But I mean, the first quarter we came out, we looked great. Then that's when the second quarter, that's when the game slowed down. I thought that's when I saw Maryland kind of fall into bad habits. Especially, I'll give you an example. In one of the 4 drives that ended in a punt, MJ Morris was actually out there because all 3 quarterbacks started. He was only on the field for less than 2. It wasn't even 90 seconds, and I don't understand what that was. And then there were times we just failed to cap off what I thought were great drives, especially that led to 3 field goals in the second quarter. We were up 23 at the half, and then for some reason, third quarter, that's when everything changed. Ramon Hemby, 14 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. And then at that point, everybody's you're bringing in second stringers, third stringers. Ruben Heppel at the second had an interception. I mean, for the most part, everybody was doing their part in this game. I mean, I just this game showed a lot. Again, as I said, all 3 quarterbacks had some time out there. Billy Edwards, 28 27, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns. MJ Morris, he completed 75% of his passes, 13 yards rushing. Cam Edwards came in. Cameron Edge, excuse me. came in and replaced MJ after suffering an injury. Preston Howard, I got to give him a shout out. He at one point did not. I don't understand what that was. He really didn't see any play after the first drive. I don't understand what that was. That was weird. Dylan Wade, Leon Harding Jr., LaRon Husbands, they took a majority of the snaps. I don't know what that was. I really don't. Maybe it was just, I don't know if it just was one of those games. Maybe you're just experimenting. You know, that's something I will need to see how that looks going forward, because Preston Howard was a starter, so I can't wrap my mind around that. Defensively, like I said, they did everything right on both sides of the ball, and yeah, and just I want to kind of go back. I want to dig a little bit more deeper. Billy Edwards, I'm going to give him a game ball, because what I saw from a guy, he really controlled the tempo of the game with the hurry up offense as an example. He fumbled the ball in the first drive, but that's okay. There he completed short passes, and I thought was to the game plan was simple: shrink the field and keep him focused. And then again, I just thought that MJ Morris, I thought especially, with the looks that he got, I'd like to know if he didn't get hurt. I think he probably would have been, I think his stats would have been different, but for the most part, I give Billy Edwards Jr. I give him a solid B plus. The running game, I thought, if we look at, being honest, the run game as a whole did really well. They went 248 yards in rushing. 131 of those yards were in the first quarter. That's actually the most, I want to go back since 2018. We had the freshmen, DeJohn Williams, Josiah McLaurin. They all did well. DeJohn had 4 carries, 13 yards of a touchdown. Then McLaurin caught a 24-yard touchdown pass. I would give those guys, I'll give them a game ball. Defensively, I have to give the entire defense a game ball, because again, I don't want to say this was bad Huskies or good Terps. I just don't think that this game was enough tape defensively to say, yeah, okay, Maryland's defense could do something, because it's only one game. I mean, we expected Maryland to come out and set the tone. They did tally 1 tackle for loss. However, the idea, I'm trying to wrap my mind on why a sack wasn't recorded, and that's going to be key. You have to, the ability to rush the pass is going to be key. I mean, if you look, they kept a lot of the running plays in front of them. They forced a lot of incomplete passes. UConn, they ran the ball 88 times, so that's that's under 3 yards per carry. Nick Evers, 6 of 17, 73 yards in a pick. He got hurt. Then they brought in, I can't remember, Joe Fagnino. He was 8 of 16. I think it's about almost $150 in a touchdown. Did throw a pick, but in fairness, it was tipped. It bounced off his receiver, and it was in the hands of Hypolite the second. I thought that I think they deserved a game ball. I thought collectively everybody did their part. It was expected. It was a great win. I'm not too concerned. And to kind of even break it down a little bit more, um, my needs improvement, I would say, is the offensive line. Again, when you have 5 new players, it's going to take time. By week 4, week 5, week 3, week 4, they should have it together. Um, all 3 quarterbacks were protected. They did get 1 sack, but again, that was on that particular play where MJ Morris was sacked. That was excellent. Downfield coverage was excellent, and his pocket presence was just not there. The run blocking has to be better than what it was. I cannot defend how the amount of holes the running backs had to create for themselves. That can happen, and especially when you look at example, I would say out of the entire offensive line, I think it was Bunyan who was the highest graded highest graded offensive lineman. That is, guys got to be better across the board. Defensively, I thought our defensive line. I'm going to give them. I'm be nice. I'm going to give them a B, but there's no excuse, especially that front 4. There's no excuse you couldn't get 1 sack, especially when you're playing the USC's, the Penn States, the Northwesterns, and other conference opponents. You've got to generate big plays. You have to be effective at stopping the run and rushing the passer. You're playing against a UConn team that's not. I'm sorry, that's not on your level. Not to not record a sack. Come on, y'all. Seriously, there's no excuse for that. I was extremely, extremely disappointed. Where's my clip?
Mm-hmm. I can't defend that. What do you want me to say to that?
But I mean, outside of that, I think that the entire defense gets a game ball. In Jack Howells, I think it's going to be a great kicker for us. We got was it Bryce McPherson? Fun fact, he was the number 1 punter in his high school class. He actually did pretty good. But for the most part, hey, it was a good win. It was a tone-setting game. Again, I really wasn't too. I'm like, okay, let's save some of these points because, like I said, I really want to see how we look against a Michigan State team this upcoming Saturday. I mean, again, we beat them last year 31-9. I believe their starting quarterback was Noah Kim. He transferred to Coastal Carolina. But they brought in Aiden Childs from Oregon State. He is with his feet is something. He got the offensive line got a lot better. And I'm just curious to see how they'll look. Let me see how it looks against them a little bit. But outside of that, good win for the Terrapins. Really proud of them. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into one final thought. And we're back. I wanted, before we close out on one final thought, I really wanted to bring this topic up. Mike Loxley. This is not. I'm not throwing no shade on him. Mike Loxley, in the 6 years of what he's done for this program, has been something special. I just am not liking some of the conversation that has been said. I think some of it's disingenuous. When I say disingenuous, they keep saying he has to win the big one, and I don't know what more you want him to do. In the 3 years that he's been here, he's been to 3 bowl games. In the 6 years, he's changed the program. Literally, that was deemed toxic. There was we lost Jordan McNair. May he rest in peace. Just questioning where this program was going to go, and for a guy to come in here and do what he did, to bring in to have guys brought in, and the ability to build something, and I don't know what more you want from him, but also to, at the same time, where's the fan support? You can't keep saying he has to win the big one and people don't show up. Like when I watched Maryland basketball from the men's side, they played Illinois. People showed up to that. Maryland women's basketball played Iowa. I covered that game. I was there. The atmosphere was spectacular. I couldn't hear for 3 days afterwards, but I mean, fan support matters. When I look at this show, where are the fans? You can't say he has to beat Ohio State, he has to beat Michigan, he has to beat this, and you're not coming out to support. Like it's one thing if people came out and they watched him not perform well. That's one thing. But I mean, he's won 3 bowl games. I mean, I feel like we moved the goalpost. So if that's the case, then say that for any other coach. You know what I'm saying? It's like, give him credit. I understand he needs to win the big one. But let's not sit here and act like Maryland last year didn't give Michigan a run for the money. If Toledo had a little bit more pocket presence, the game is a little different. But I digress. So I just wanted to say that because I feel like he has done a lot for this program, and I'm appreciative of what he's done. But it's just like people just find or just say anything to just like shit on the guy. Like, he's won 3 bowl games. I mean, what do you want him to do? People, I would like people to come out and support him. I mean, people come out and support, but it's like it needs to be better. The same thing when it comes to Maryland basketball, men and women, football. Like, the fan support needs to be better. I mean, people come out and support, but it's like it's almost made it seem like he's not done anything. And I think we have to be careful of how we push certain narratives and agendas. I mean, 6 years and you've won 3 bowl games. Not too many coaches can say that. I just want to get that off my chest. One final thought.
Thoughts are running through my mind. Someone took some time to find a minute or two to organize.
Just thank you for the support you give me on this channel. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe for all future content. Be on the lookout for episodes for next video. Get ready for Michigan State this weekend. WNBA, we're now week 12 of the season. We're actually getting ready to wrap it up soon. With that, get ready for the playoffs. But until then, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Y'all stay up. Peace.
It's Friday night and I hit up the crew. Grab the keys, jump in my ride, cruise the town and can find something new. Hit the club, the DJ's got the dance floor in a groove, and none of that compares to when I turn around and saw you. I can't understand it, girl. How you do the things I'm watching you do. While we're in this club, hey, all I wanna do is dance with you. I wanna dance with you. The moment that I saw your face, I knew I wasn't leaving till I got a chance to know you. But I'm still nervous, trying not to lose my cool. So I'm stuck sitting watching you. I don't know what to do. Can't understand. Oh, yeah. How you do the thing I'm watching you do. While we're in this club, all I wanna do is dance with you.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
And I wanna thank you. All I wanna do is say thank you for everything.